Welcome back. We are going to take up our answers. You can compare your answers to my answers. Let's have a look at the sentences and which idiom or expression belongs with each sentence. Let's now compare my answers to your answers. We already did number 1 together. So number 1, Iris is trying to figure out a way to solve a difficult math problem. That is complete. Let's look at number 2. I have a big English test tomorrow. I need to something. I need to hit the books. Remember, hit the books, that means study. So I have a big English test tomorrow. I need to hit the books. Number 3, Louis is such a blank. He seems to be reading a new book every week. Louis is such a bookworm. Louis is such a bookworm. He seems to be reading a new book every week. Number 4, I practice my English speaking skills every day because I believe that practice makes perfect. And number 5, when my employer asked me for my phone number, I blank. I couldn't remember it. I drew a blank. I drew a blank. So here it says draw a blank, but this is in the past. When my employer asked me for my phone number, instead of saying I draw a blank, no, this happened in the past. So we're gonna change draw to drew. I drew a blank. So now we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about our class rules. So we've already learned vocabulary, read a story, listened to a story, and have done many activities that relate to class rules. So rules within the classroom. Now we're gonna talk about our class rules. Our class rules are going to be rules that relate to learning English online using NETOL. So let's begin. So this is Hini, and Hini has a question. Here is Hini's question. What does the word our mean? So that's a great question, Hini. And let's look at the word our. Before we had class rules, now our topic has changed to our class rules. And Hini would like to know, what does the word our mean? Let's have a look at the definition of our. The word our means that something belongs to more than one person. For example, our class rules means that the rules of the classroom belong to all of us. So the rules of the classroom don't just belong to me or to Hini or to you. The rules of the classroom belong to all of us, to me, Hini, and you. Here's another example. Imagine that your family bought a computer for the house. So that computer, you would say, so if my family bought a computer for the house, I will say that that computer is our computer in my house. Our computer. So our computer means that the computer that we bought for our family belongs to everyone and everyone can use it within the family. So our, something that belongs to more than one person. So I hope that clarifies the word our. Now I do have a class question. Have a look. Can you think of any rules that will work for our online class on NETOL? So our class is an online class. We will be learning English on NETOL. Can you think of other rules that will help you succeed in learning English online using NETOL? Think of rules that would relate to you being a student in our online class, and then practice your writing by writing 3 rules that you think would work for our class. Activity number 10 is you writing 3 rules for our online class. Have a look. This is the activity. So here you would write the rules in the white boxes, or for those of you who like to write on paper and pencil, please write number 1, 2, 3 and write 3 rules for our online class. I want you to have a look here at how to write a 5-star sentence. So please keep this in mind when you're writing your 3 rules. Rule number 1, begin your sentence with a capital letter. So I've already talked about that at the beginning of our lesson and I'm bringing it back. Please remember, when you're writing a sentence, begin your sentence with a capital letter. Let me show you an example sentence. Jake. Jake is the name of a person. Jake likes to ride his bike after school. Jake likes to ride his bike after school is a complete sentence. The sentence started with the letter J, and the J must be capitalized. Begin your sentences with a capital letter. So this sentence here is correct. Have a look at the next rule to write a 5-star sentence. Have spaces between words. This is a common mistake that I've seen in the classroom where students are writing. The students will write sentences, but they will forget to put spaces between their words. So then this is what their sentence looks like. Please remember to include spaces when you're writing, whether you're typing. If you're typing, remember you write a word and then you press the space bar to give yourself a space between the words. If you're writing with pencil and paper, please include a finger space. We call it a finger space. That's how big your space should be between the words. Okay. So Jake likes to ride his bike after school. This sentence is incorrect because there are no spaces. Next rule to write a 5-star sentence is check your spelling to make sure that there are no mistakes. So that is another important part of learning English. Make sure your spelling is correct. If you're going to be doing the activity online, you will notice that when you write mistakes, when there's a spelling mistake, usually your device may automatically correct your spelling mistake, or you may see a red line. So a red line under a word indicates that there is a spelling error. There's a mistake there and it needs to be corrected. So make sure to check your spelling. It's a little bit harder to check your spelling when you're writing on on paper with pencil. It's a little bit harder, but you can still do it. If you type up what you wrote, you would see. If you see any red lines, that means you have mistakes. So red lines need to be corrected. These are all spelling mistakes. So if you look at this sentence, it is incorrect because there are many spelling errors. Next rule, end your sentence with punctuation. Very important. When you write a sentence, make sure that the end of your sentence has a period. So Jake likes to ride his bike after school needs to end with a period in order to make this sentence correct. The last rule here, read your sentence over to make sure that it makes sense. I always ask students to do this. When you're writing a sentence, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to read your sentence out loud. Read it out loud. So, and if you're reading your sentence and you don't understand what you're reading, work on your sentence to make sure that there are no mistakes. So, for example, have a look at this sentence. Like ride bike Jake after school. This sentence is incorrect. Remember at the beginning of the lesson, we learned about a complete sentence. A complete sentence must answer 2 questions. Who is the sentence about? And what is happening in the sentence? So who, it's about Jake. So Jake is the subject of the sentence. So always begin with the subject and then what is happening in the sentence. Jake likes to ride his bike after school. That is what is happening in the sentence. So let's go back. Please complete this activity. Write 3 rules for our online class on NETOL. Please start all your sentences with a capital letter, spaces between words. Try not to have spelling mistakes and end your sentences with periods. When you're finished this activity, I will show you an example of 3 rules that one of our students wrote for us. Pause the video, complete the activity, and I will see you soon.